We are Joel and Cole, two guys from Calgary who decided to buy a blue water boat 10 years ago. We initially sailed around the Pacific Northwest, the Gulf Islands and Vancouver Island, getting lots of experience. Finally, 2 years ago, we sailed Celestina south to Mexico. After a season in the Sea of Cortez, we are making plans to go offshore. Join us as we head to the South Pacific on our newest adventure.
Today is our first entry into one of the famous Tuomotos. We're going into Rarioa, I believe that's how it's spelled, and pronounced. They have a single entrance exit, and we've spoken to a couple of people who are coming out of that single pass right now. And when they've come out, they're going to give us some information about how good the pass was, i.e. the current in there, and also whether or not there were standing waves. We've tried to time this as best we can. We don't have a tide chart for this particular area, so it's a guess based on historical facts and also from nearby Mackinac tide charts. So it's we're looking for what's called a slack tide, so there's no movement of water in that area. There is some wind, about 10 to 12 knots of wind against the direction that the current will likely be going, which sometimes can cause standing waves in there. So with any luck, we've got it pretty close to slack tide, and we'll have nothing to worry about other than some wind actually against us, and we really don't think that should be too much of a problem at 10 to 12 knots. Once we get inside, there are coral heads everywhere. They've got the initial ones labeled with markers, but after that it's you've got to look out for yourself. We're going to go to the other side of the Tuomoto, and we're going to anchor there, and that will be on a lee side of a shore on that side. This is the Rarioa Pass, and I got about 2 to 3 knots of current ebbing coming out of the Atoll out into the open ocean, and there's standing waves over there. We're now going to manage to get through this minefield of coral bommies to get to the other side of this atoll. This is the narrowest portion of it right here. We arrived in Rarioa yesterday in cloudy skies, and it was raining a bit yesterday afternoon. We got up this morning and it was absolutely beautiful. We had a perfect afternoon, sunny skies, a few clouds, temperature's probably about 85, the water's about 83 degrees. It's beautiful here, absolutely gorgeous. You can see behind me there is a large clump of palm trees and other trees there. So we went out there this afternoon, had a chance to have a look around that island, and then go out to the coast, which is just out past that. I kind of thought we were going to find a beach, but really there's no beach. It's just a pile of coral, and then there's rivulets that come into the middle of the lagoon, and the lagoon is then full of that water that comes in from over there and then it exits that pass that we came in yesterday. Yes, we saw a bit of wildlife this afternoon. So there were some sharks in the shallow water where we were walking out towards that beach area. And then some moray eels were in there as well. And then we picked up some pieces of large, those clams, those big clams with the wavy teeth that everyone's sort of expecting to catch their foot in somehow. Well, there are pieces of them on the beach, so they must be out there somewhere. When they break up, they come in here from the ocean. And then finally, we managed to get us into that waterway way over here that is between the island and the rivulet that comes in here, and it's 5 to 10 feet deep. There's very little current in there. There's actually quite a few fish, some coral that's actually alive to see. Much of it's dead, but I suspect that's from actually us humans stepping on it and crushing it more than anything. But Cole got in there and got his snorkel and his mask in there. No fins yet, but tomorrow we'll try the fins out, and did his business swimming around in there, and it was just fantastic. This is the northern anchorage of the Tuomotos Rarioa. There's a Tahiti Yacht Club over here. Basically a site with some old burned furniture and burned... people bring their garbage there to burn. beautiful, absolutely beautiful here. It's got a little bit more foliage here, a little bit deeper rim, and you can see behind me there's look at a coconut plantation back there. A little less wind here because there's a little bit more vegetation, so we get a little bit more protection from that wind that's outside the Tuomoto. But it's just beautiful here. You can see back here it's just calm. I would say crystal clear blue water that goes out for about half a mile. There are you can see little rocks essentially. Those are coral bommies, and it's something as a boater you want to avoid. So we have elected to anchor further out so we don't have to worry about our chain wrapping around those rocks of coral. Anyway, we thought we'd come over here to have a little exploration, and then we're going to have a chance to do some snorkeling if we can find a spot that doesn't have too many sharks. There are no end of sharks in the water. There's one right in front of me now, here. That one's about 2 feet long. They range anywhere from about 2 inches up to about 3 feet. Oh, here comes another one. He's a bit bigger. He's about 3 feet long. I don't think Cole's going swimming here, just so you know. They're black-tipped sharks. Not that that means anything to me in terms of ferocity, but they don't seem to be attracted to So tomorrow we're heading off to Makamo out of this pass and into another pass, into another atoll. It's about 10 to 12 hours from here, and we're going to do it overnight tomorrow night, just because it then works with the exit from here and the entrance into that particular passage, into that particular atoll. It's been a fairly quiet couple of days here in Rarioa. We've not been able to do much because it's been raining, and it has been we've had upwards of 26 knots sitting here in this anchorage this morning. We're just sort of crossing our fingers that we weren't actually going to drag our anchor, because there are bommies down below us, and we don't want to get our anchor wrapped around any bommies down there. Anyway, it's calm now, and we're going to sit down and have some dinner. You can see over here behind my shoulder, it's so calm we can actually sit down and have dinner at a table with glasses of wine sitting on it and not having them fall over. So, bonus.